Yo, what's happening, boys? This is Rocket. So this is going to be my Blake Griffin build review. So I came into this 2K roster in the features, and I wanted to see what the game had for Blake Griffin. There's a few templates for him in this game. This one, as you see, has insane finishing. My build's going isn't. I can't say I'm going to have 99, 98, but we're going to have something in that vicinity. Uh, I do like the polished shooting. Like this is very doable. 88, 77, something in that area. Really workable. This other one over here has another aspect that I want to adopt, and that is the speed with ball being at a 75. So getting lightning launch on silver, it's like a tier two anyways. That's going to be really dope. Because Blake Griffin was very difficult for his peers to defend, like his ability to put the ball on the floor and just his athleticism. And so now I'm going to hop over to the builder. I'm going to show you what I came up with. You know, so we are going to be 6'8". Blake was 6'9", but the cap breakers work out better at 6'8", and it's not that big of a difference. So here are my shades. We got AD, we got Amare, we got KG. So those shades are freaking awesome. So I'm gonna hop into this thing. We're gonna jump right over here. I'm gonna build this from scratch just to explain it all. So 91 driving dunk off the get-go. That's going to give us a couple contact dunk. We're going to get the 87s. We get the 89s. We get the front clutch dunks at 90. That's an extremely good animation. It just flings you forward towards the rim, away from the defender. That's the type of animation that you want. Standing dunk. We're going to have a 90 standing dunk off the get-go as well. So gold rise up, and we're going to be doing a finishing specialization. So this can be put up to red if we want to, and it's also a tier 2 at my height range. So for driving lay, 80 as a starting point. This can be cap broken extremely high. 3 takes it to 90. 1 on the dunk goes to 93. So we're going to end up with elite finishing on this build. Now, physicals, we're going to go ahead and max our speed at 85. We're going to have a 77 agility to get this gold off-ball slip. This helps when you're just trying to dex yourself open. It also helps on pick and rolls when you're diving. You get speed up boosts, and it's really nice. Strength, we're going to go 80 strength. We need a 75 for our layup in the future, but we're going to go 80 because 80 strength in conjunction with our rebound, which is going to be a 90 base rebound and 80. You got to have 80 on both ends to get Crasher with 80 strength. So here's Crasher. So I'm going to get this takeover, that's going to help me, my box out success. If I'm facing somebody that doesn't have this, I should get some type of favorable animation. And I'm only paying 5 more points of strength beyond what I actually have to have. So really, I feel like that's pretty high value. It's really not costing me. It's costing me like 10 points of free throw or something really cheap to have that 5. Vertical. 85 vertical is we need at least like 80 for our 93 dunk. 83 is pogo on Hoff, and then 85 is going to be what we need when our dunk gets cap broken to a 96 off 3, and we'll get the elite contact dunks. So defense, Blake Griffin is not known for being a great defender, but he was a great athlete that could block some shots, here and there. You're going to have an 80 block on 80 interior defense. That's going to give you rim guardian takeover, having the 80-80 combo. Now it's also going to help us track down boards, and it's going to help us, just get some block shots. So we're going to at least be able to make a few impact plays here and there on defense. Perimeter, we're going to go with a 71. That's going to give us challenger. So, another very valuable badge. If you don't have this, you can knock people to the ground and they'll still make the shot. So shooting, I'm going to go ahead and max out our midi. Just like we saw in that template before I showed you this build. Blake Griffin had a high mid-range, so high mid-range is going to be valuable for them picking pops and also for our ability to ISO and create. Three-point shot, we're going to go with an 80. That's the bare minimum we need to unlock sharp take, and I feel like this is a very valuable badge. As a high-level scorer, you don't need a 99.3 to make open shots in the game, especially shooting off dimer. If you're not taking a high volume of threes, You know, like I'm going to be attacking the rim. I'm not going to be settling for jump shots, but an 83 ball is still a consistent enough rating where people have to respect that. Uh, Free throw, we're going to go with a 73, where we ended up at. Not last but not least, the playmaking. So before I put this up, just know that we're going to be our first 10 cap breakers, 9 or 10 are going to playmaking. Uh, so just know that. So we're going to go with a 69 speed with ball as a base, 65 ball handle, and the rest of the stuff goes to pass for a 63. With the cap breakers, 4 on ball handle gives me plus 21 to 86. So now just know that. So now we're going to head to the cap breaker screen, and I'm going to show you the build. But yeah, this build's going to be pretty nasty. I believe I actually already have a version of this build with some cap breakers on it. So let's just hop over to that one. I think it's right here. Yeah. So yeah, 6'8" Blake Griffin build. Get some really glitchy cap breakers. You know, the pass cap breakers are extremely important too. This build's pretty much a lot of playmaking going into this build. So let's go ahead and hop into this. So I already, just to show you, it's the exact same build, 6'8", 244. Every attribute is the exact same, 69, 65, 63. Shooting, I just simply added some cap breakers before I'm about to level this build up pretty soon. But here's the screen. As you see, you go from 65 to 86 on 4 cap breakers. That's cracked out. If the dunk goes above a 91 in the builder, it ruins all this. It just makes it +1. So it's crazy how you can have the exact same build and a little change here and there just totally messes it up. But as you see, I got 5 cap breakers currently. So those next 5, you can look at that as 4 pass for a 77 and 1 on speed with ball for a 75. I want that Zach LaVine dribble style and lightning launch. Eventually, we'll finish out this pass to 80 for Dishmaster. But for the time being, I'm going to have, 9 cap breakers all in playmaking. So you're going to have a 77 pass for now, 86 and 75. Then at starter 5, I'm starter 4. So I'm going to pick up 3 more cap breakers at starter 5, plus level 40. So that's a 4th cap breaker. And then I'm going to get 2 for my build specialization. So I'll have 6 total cap breakers with 2 having to go to the finishing. So for those next 6, I already told you about these down here. So for those next 6, I would go 2 on the rebound. That leaves 4, with 2 having to go to finishing. I would put, for the 2 that have to go on finishing, I would put 1 right here, and then I would put the next 3 on the layup. So that's going to end up, off those cap breakers. I'm going to have 86, 77, 75 to start. Then starter 5, I'm going to get 3 more. That's 92 and 93 dunk. And then for the build specialization, then you can put a couple more on your layup. And you're going to have, you're going to have a 90 layup on this build. You're going to get gold physical finisher. So you're going to get a ton of stuff on this build. The rebound can hit 94 in the future if you want to go that high. But definitely, going that 92 for that gold rebound chaser, is extremely, extremely valuable. And then you can still get your dunk to 93 for gold posterizer. And then you're still going to have a cap breaker plus your build specialization too. So that's 90 lay, So you're going to have crazy finishing, very good shooting. This build is going to be extremely nasty. When you come to these badges over here, right here, this can be rise up, put up to legend, or it can be posterizer, put up to legend, and the other one can be put purple. But I feel like the best method is to probably just go physical finisher and just put that on legend. So if I do get hoed on a dunk animation, I'm gonna, have the best chance to jelly that shit in, And also, this build, if you put everything in the layup, you can get a 94 layup and get like gold layup mix master and +2 that to legend. So I've been thinking about that as well. That may be something that we target. I can't say that could not happen. The dunk can hit 98. Obviously, there's no reason to go that high, But still, this is a dope Blake Griffin build. Just enough defense, get some shot blocks, make some impact plays. But yeah, watch out for this Lob City Blake Griffin build, yo. See y'all on the road.